All right. Good.
Take 3. Morning class. I know you've missed Mr. Springer and myself here the last couple of weeks. So we're going to do a little bit of a demo here with the skeleton. Let you guys know the parts. We gave you guys a list before you guys got out. And just to point out some of these things, we've got the cranium right here. And the cranium is made up of a number of bones. And first of all, this is the frontal bone. These on top, the green areas, are the parietal. In the back, you've got the occipital. And then on the side here in the orange is the temporal. Going to the front, the purple area right here is the maxilla. Down here, lower jaw, is the mandible. And then you have the nasal bone, little strip here in the red. Most of the nose that you have is going to be cartilage that would extend out here. And then you've got other areas. There are a lot of other bones we're not going to go into. If you want to get into that area, then you need to go into anatomy and physiology next year, because you got the zygomatic process, you've got the lacrimal bone in here, and a number of others. Okay, so that takes care of the skull, frontal bone, parietal, occipital, temporal, nasal, maxilla, and the mandible. And the whole thing is referred to as the cranium. Okay, as we move down the line here, then you have the vertebrae that are going from the base of the skull back here all the way down. In the throat area, we're going to decapitate Igor here for a little bit. This is a hyoid bone, little U-shaped bone there, not connected directly to any of the other bones. Okay, if you notice, in between the vertebrae, you've got these little lines here. Those are little cartilage discs. Okay, as we go down, across the front here on both sides, you have the clavicles. Okay, or commonly known as the collarbone. Down the middle is the sternum, or the breastbone. On the back side, right across here, shoulder blades, or the scapula. Then we've got the ribs. Okay, and they're grouped into 3 different areas. You've got 12 on each side. The first ones, from here down to here, are referred to as the true ribs. And then the next 3 pairs are going to be the false ribs. And then, protecting the back, right around the kidney area, these are going to be the floating ribs. They're not directly attached to anything except round back by the spine. Okay, in the arm area, then we have the humerus, long upper bone. Down below, we've got the radius and the ulna. And look, on the thumb side, this is the radius. On the outside then, you're going to have the ulna. This area in here is referred to as the carpals. And you've got a number of little bones here, 7 of them, to make that up. They all have individual names. Like I said earlier, if you want to know some of those in a little more depth, then go into anatomy physiology next year. Across here, the hand area, those are the metacarpals. And then at the end, here with your fingers, your thumb, those are referred to as the phalanges. Okay, as we move along here, the very tip of the sternum here, little pointed area, this thing commonly gets broke when they're doing CPR on older people. That's called the xiphoid process. Okay, the coxals are the hips. And this area here, you got two sides to that. This long bone right here, your thigh area, that's the femur. At the end of the femur, you've got a little circular bone here. You don't have this when you're born, just a little teeny bit of cartilage, and later fell out somewhere around age 2 or so, but that's the patella or the kneecap. Lower part of the leg here, you've got a couple of bones. The long, solid one here is the tibia. And then on the side, you have the fibula. Nice little thin bone. Skiers, football players, a lot of different athletes end up breaking this one here. Just a little shot in this area here will snap that. A little more difficult on this one. In the ankle area then, so with the wrist you had the carpals. With the ankle you've got the tarsals. And the largest one, the talus, right back here, your heel bone. And then you move down towards the foot area here, we sometimes call it the arch of the foot. Those are the metatarsals. And then you've got the phalanges for the toes here on the end. Okay, with the spinal area on here, to go back up here, the first 7 vertebrae make up the cervical vertebrae. And all mammals have 7 in there. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. I've said that over and over all year long. There are some, there's a whale, I believe, that has 8 vertebrae in its neck. You know, so you can end up with little abnormalities like that. Then you go down, the next 12 are going to be the thoracic vertebrae. And they line up with the 12 ribs. Then you end up with the curved area in the back, which is going to be the lumbar region. And then below that, kind of hard to see here with the dummy strapped up, here is the sacral region. And then the coccyx or the tailbone down here, or what they call the coccygeal area. Okay, and that takes care of our little demonstration with the skeleton here.
Oh, the ear.
Oh, I forgot. Mr. Springer reminded me. We have the ear, the 3 smallest bones, and actually the 6 smallest bones in the body, 3 in each ear. So if we take this section out, inside here, this little area down in here looks like it's U-shaped. That is the stapes, or what we commonly call the stirrup. Hooked onto the cochlea. Okay, hooked onto the eardrum. Set up like this here. This little bone here is the malleus, or what we call the hammer. And then this one here, the larger one, is the incus, or commonly known as the anvil. All 3 of those work together to get vibrations to that inner ear area. Okay, now I believe we're concluded.
Awesome. The skeleton.